One of the big things coming out of SmackDown this week was Damage Control. Damage Control seemingly now is becoming more and more popular now this week, considering what we had to see. We also had Santos Escobar turning on LWO, but I think a lot of us kind of saw that coming. But this is not about the LWO. This is about Damage Control. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys why I believe Bayley will definitely be the one turning babyface when this whole thing comes to an end. I know a lot of people don't seem to believe she will ever be a babyface again, but I do believe that this storyline is definitely leading towards that direction. You know, I said Sami Zayn was turning babyface due to the storyline of the Bloodline, and not many people believed me. And now look where we are with Sami Zayn. So I think a lot of people should definitely be taking my word, but overall, it is what it is. So Damage Control for a while felt like it was really losing itself. Like, a lot of people felt Damage Control was really starting to die off for a very while. And I believe that too. I thought Damage Control was really just... it just wasn't lasting very long. And also, the main thing about Damage Control is that I've been saying this about it from day one. It was never about Bayley. Bayley being the leader of the group, just because you're the leader of the group doesn't mean it's going to be about you. Like Triple H, for example, he led Evolution, but it was about him. But also Evolution helped introduce Batista and Randy Orton to WWE audiences. Legacy, Randy Orton was the leader. It was mainly about him, but it introduced Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. So. And then you've got other factions. You've also got other factions that kind of do the same thing. But those are the two factions off the top of my head. You've even got a whole faction like the Nexus and all that stuff. But the main preference of Damage Control is that it was never about Bayley. It's never been about her. It's always been about Dakota and Io. Bayley, if it was about Bayley, she'd be the champion. She'd be the one with the title around her waist. But it's not about her. She has not won a single title since the beginning of Damage Control. And I remember throughout Bayley's jobber losses, as people call it, jobbing, as people called it, people continued to say that WWE were disrespecting Bayley. Oh, they're disrespecting her, constantly having her lose, treating her like a jobber. What a joke WWE is. How dare they treat Bayley like a jobber? And now here we are, and now all those people have gone silent. Now all those people have gone silent. All the people that said she was treated like a joke are now all saying, oh my god, this is great, Judgment Day are terrible, Damage Control is better than Judgment Day, and all this other nonsense. All the people that were calling Bayley a joke, a jobber, are now all of a sudden just completely changed their tune. This is why the internet fans just make me laugh, because they spend all their time whining and complaining instead of not realizing the bigger picture here. Bayley is never going to be buried. Never. I said from the very beginning, Bayley is never going to be buried. She's helping the future of the women's division. But no, people don't believe me, because everyone believes that, oh, Bayley beating Zelina Vega and Shotzi and Mia Yim definitely means she's helping the future. Oh, but she beat Zelina. She was in Money in the Bank this year. She didn't need to be in Money in the Bank this year. She didn't need to be a part of this. She didn't need that. You know, people always try to find ways to complain about something. You know, if Bayley didn't belong in Money in the Bank, maybe Becky Lynch shouldn't have been in Money in the Bank either. But she was only in Money in the Bank because Trish Stratus was in Money in the Bank. Bayley was in Money in the Bank to continue her storyline with Io. And if you look at how Io won, Io handcuffed Bayley and Becky. But Bayley is the biggest story here. Io literally had to handcuff Bayley and Becky's hands together for her to steal the Money in the Bank contract. And funny how Bayley didn't bitch about it. Bayley didn't argue or complain that Io literally handcuffed her. She literally moved on. Bayley, as a heel, has always been great. And I know it may feel a bit hypocritical of me to sit here and say, oh, Bayley's going to be turning babyface, as much as it's something I don't really want to see, because you guys have heard me say that I'll only accept Bayley as a babyface as long as they keep her the way she is and they don't revert her back to her old character, where she's hugging and flailing her arms around like a child and Bayley buddies, you know, like, that's my main concern if they ever do turn her babyface. But I'm making this video just to make it clarifications to everyone that it's very clear that Bayley is going to be the one to turn babyface in all of this. There's no way you can convince me Kairi and Io are turning babyface through all of this. It's very clear that Io... It's very clear that Io is plotting against Bayley. It is very clear she is plotting against Bayley and all that other stuff. It's very clear that she's... Because Dakota said it on SmackDown, that she said that the reason why they added Kairi to the group was just so that way Bayley can take a bit of a rest, you know, and all this other stuff. So, and now we got Asuka being added to Damage Control. Though I don't think Asuka is an official member, I think they've more added her just for the War Games match, because Dakota can't wrestle, she's still injured. So, I think that's the main reason they've included Asuka. I can't really see Asuka being an actual member. The only thing I see happening is, the only thing I realistically see happening is Bayley and Dakota just most likely being kicked out by Asuka, Io, and Kairi, and then all three of them remain as like a faction. They remain together as a faction, while Bayley and Dakota turn babyface, and then they kind of move on to their own thing. I would like to see Dakota kind of go back with Tegan Nox. Like, that would be a good tag team. Like, an actual tag team. That would actually be an actual tag team for them to utilize. And not Dakota and Raquel, obviously. But I think Dakota and Tegan is definitely the correct decision to go with if you're going to end Dakota's time in Damage Control. And as for Bayley, she's going to become a babyface. As for Bayley, here's the thing. A lot of people have been making clear references to a lot of things that Bayley has done in the past. And one person brought up the whole thing with Sasha Banks, or Mercedes Moné, as she is known as now. But it was like Mercedes was the one that created heel Bayley, and she had to destroy what she created. And now Bayley is creating Io. And now Bayley could be the one to destroy it. Now I know some people want to see Bayley have another title run, and some people who are not so thrilled about possibly Bayley having another title run probably might not be happy if Bayley gets another title run. But it's very funny to me is that fans have been clamoring for new people to be in the title picture, but Becky Lynch and Bayley, oh yeah, they need more title runs. Oh yeah, they should have more title runs. Becky should be the one to beat Rhea. Bayley needs another title run and all this shit. And I'm thinking to myself, weren't all of you guys whining about the horsewomen always dominating the title scene? Oh, right. It's Charlotte Flair. When you say you're sick of the 4 horsewomen dominating the title scene, you more mean Charlotte Flair. Like Mercedes, Becky, and Bayley, they can hold trillions of titles and no one will get sick of it. But Charlotte Flair having 1 title, oh no, that's too much. But yeah, but other than that, it's just one of those small cases that fans show their fickleness as usual. But as for War Games, who becomes the mysterious 4th member for Bianca's team? I've heard some people say Becky. I don't think Becky should be teaming with Charlotte Flair. I mean, would they really want to work together? That is the other big question. And why would Becky join them? It would make sense. She's on Raw, not on SmackDown. The only person to me that makes sense is that it's either Mia Yim, someone who we haven't seen in a while, Zelina Vega, or possibly maybe a returning Liv Morgan, but again she's on Raw. So in reality, the reality is it's either Zelina or Mia Yim. It's really either one of them. It's either going to be one of them. And no, it is not going to be Mercedes Moné. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that it could end up being Mercedes. It's not going to be Mercedes. She's not going to be returning to WWE, guys. I'm sorry. Trust me, I would absolutely go crazy if Mercedes did come back, but it's not going to be her. She's most likely going to be joining AEW. Or TNA. One of those two. It's not going to be her. I'm just going to possibly say Zelina. Or unless they're going to bring someone up from NXT, like Cora Jade or Roxanne. It's hard to really say, but I think it's really going to be either Mia or Zelina. It's probably the only 2 people that really make a lot of sense. I can't really think of anybody else. Like, it can't be Alexa because she's out pregnant. Can't be Carmella because she's just had a child. You know, it's very, very difficult. Unless WWE has been hiding a secret signing. The only other person that I could think of off the top of my head that could theoretically be the 4th member, and this could be a good way to introduce her to the WWE audience, is Jade Cargill. She's the only other person that I could possibly think of off the top of my head that could possibly make a big impact. This could be a good way that would be a pretty cool way to introduce Jade Cargill having her first match in War Games. Now, would it make sense? Depends. Depends if they still plan on having her go to NXT, but many people believe that Jade was going to be the one to dethrone Becky Lynch, but that didn't happen, so maybe Jade does completely skip NXT. So, it's either going to be Mia, Zelina, or Jade. That's really how I see this whole thing turning out. So as for Bayley's face turn, I do think it's coming soon. I do think her face turn is coming soon. People just need to be patient on when certain things happen. Just because I say something's gonna happen doesn't mean it's gonna happen this instant, that instant, right now. You know? When I say something happens, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen right away. I said Sami Zayn was gonna turn face to the Bloodline storyline, and not many people believed me, and I said, don't worry, it's coming, and they still didn't believe me. And then it finally happened. So at the end of the day, it's going to be the same thing with Bayley. She's going to turn face eventually. It's just not going to happen now. It's all about timing. It's all about timing, and you got to do it at the right time. I'll be stunned if Bayley doesn't end up turning face through all of this. But that's the reason I made this video. To let you guys know that I believe Bayley will be turning babyface through all of this. And if she doesn't, then I'll be first to admit I was wrong. But I'm very strong about this one. I'm very confident about this, just like how I was confident about Sami Zayn turning babyface. So that's really the end of this video, guys. I do believe that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all on the other side.